Hey guys, and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and it is Thursday, which means it is a busy day. Now, I just had my pre-op appointment with my surgeon for my surgery May 1st, and now I'm down here getting to work. I had a visit from my Sarah rep this week, and he brought me some new products, one of which I want to show you is a snail trap that looks pretty promising. I wanted to give you an update on the baby endlis, which are decidedly pellet trained now, and just go around and talk about some of the things that I'm going to be doing in the fish room in the upcoming weeks leading up to my surgery. So let's get started. Pellet training big fish isn't always easy, and even though these guys are young, they were really fixated on a diet that was decidedly smellier than pellets, and it took me probably about a month and a half to get them really onto pellets, but I am very relieved to say that they are finally eating them quite readily. A lot of times it's a balance between patience and just trying to offer things in different ways. These guys really were completely ignoring the pellets up until about a week or so ago, and now you can see that they're taking them quite readily, which is a huge relief for me. One of the reasons I really wanted to get them on pellets is that it's a more complete diet for them as they're growing. Also, it makes it easier to feed them a few times a day. Their tank gets less messy, there's less debris blown around the tank, and it means that while I'm out for surgery, my family will have a way easier time maintaining these little guys. Now, these pellets are a little bit big. This is a Hikari sinking carnivore pellet, but I've had really great success in the past using this diet for growing out these large primitive fish. So I decided to give it a try, and they seem to be managing pretty well with this pellet size. Now, as they get bigger, I'll upgrade them to a larger pellet, but this should work for at least the next 6 months or so. You can see they really like them. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you was this snail trap that's made by Sarah. It retails for about 16 bucks, and it seems to be working pretty well. I stuck it in there last night, and there's maybe 40 or so pest snails in it of various sizes. And how it works is you put these little plastic toothpicks basically in this box, and that prevents the fish from going in. And then there's these little this comb section that allows the snails to go in but not back out. Now, one of my concerns was that since the fish that I deal with are so small that they would be able to fit through these toothpick type areas, but I haven't had any problems so far. You pull out this red piece, and you bait the trap that way. I put Sarah O-Nip in there, but you could really use anything you want. Put it in there, drop it in the aquarium. Usually it lights out. Check it in the morning and you'll have caught a bunch of snails. And then you can just remove these plastic picks to be able to pour the snails out to remove them. So I'm going to continue to try this in a few aquariums, and I'll follow up in future Thursday videos on how it works. But so far I'm pretty pleased. And again, I don't really find pest snails to be that bothersome. However, they have started to crop up in this aquarium. With the amount of organics in there from the wood and the leaf litter, I know that they'll have a ready food source. So I want to try and manually remove as many as possible to keep a handle on the situation. All in all, this is one of my favorite tanks that I have right now, and I really want to make sure that it stays a showpiece aquarium. Now, I have had to replace the leaf litter in this aquarium because the otocinclus have eaten it completely, and they're already working on this new leaf that I've put in here. You can see that my pennywort is doing really well, to the point that I actually need to pull a bunch of that out and move it to other aquariums. All the plants are growing in, and the fish are exceptionally healthy. I'm really pleased with this aquarium. You can see all the pest snails on the bottom of this trap. I'm going to go ahead and feed these to my puffers and then reset it to add it back to the aquarium later today. Now, the puffers really appreciate these snacks. You can see them actively hunting all over, so this will make it easier to feed these guys as well. Now to reset this trap, I simply put these little picks back through, and then you turn them to lock them in place. So it's super easy. And I need to put one more here to prevent any fish from getting in there. Now I'll just bait it by taking a pellet, putting it in this little red comb thing, reinserting that in the snail trap, and then I'll put it in the aquarium, making sure that all these little comb things, the comb section, are down to trap the snails. You can also see that the big boys have totally adjusted to this massive plant in their aquarium. They've totally left it alone. They haven't shredded it at all, which has really sort of surprised me because I sort of expected to have some more issues with them with it. But the gars really seem to like it, and as you can tell, the pollies like to lay in it. So it's worked out way better than anticipated. Now I hope to get to the hardware store this weekend, as I need to purchase some materials for the greenhouse in order to get that ready to go for next week. But also because I want to figure out the background, and I think I'm just going to go with some sort of either plastic or plywood that I can paint and then affix to the back of the aquarium from the outside. And I think it'll make a big difference for this aquarium, so stay tuned for that as well. Now one last thing I wanted to show you is that the Weitzman eyes, the Poecilocharex Weitzmani, the black darter tetras, are finally becoming really, really visible in this little aquascape that I've provided. And you can see they're really starting to color up. Now I don't remember exactly how many I put in here, but there are quite a few, and they seem to be extremely happy. And I knew it was going to take a little bit of time for them to settle in, but it's really rewarding to start seeing them be more out and about and visible and really get to enjoy them within this aquarium. All in all, I think it's really successful. And I look forward to see what happens over the next several months with these various fish. You can see they have some really unique spangling, and I'll be doing a species spotlight on these guys at some point soon. Now I am considering adding some leaf litter to this aquarium for these guys, but right now the driftwood's providing enough tannins that they really are starting to color up exceptionally well. And I'm just really, really pleased that they're enjoying this environment that I've provided for them. This tank is getting more and more active by the day, and I think in the long run it's quickly going to become one of my favorites. I love the way that the dwarf cories and the tetras interact with each other and utilize the entire water column. It's really very fun to watch. One other quick thing is I am having a population explosion of all my Ancestris. As we look around this aquarium, there are literally baby plecos everywhere. There's got to be close to 100 in this aquarium, if not more. So I'm thinking that I may end up moving a bunch of them outside for grow out this summer, just so that they have more space and dilution, because this is an intense quantity of baby plecos to manage. And I have this in 4 aquariums right now. So it's a good thing, good problem to have, but it's a lot of baby fish to feed. Now in the super red tank, it's a much smaller spawn because the fish are younger. But you can see that there are quite a lot of babies in this aquarium as well, which makes me really happy because they had taken a brief hiatus from breeding. So I'm glad to see that they're happy again. I think that removing all those pest snails really helped because they were irritating not only the breeding fish, but also outcompeting the babies for food. And you can see that they're doing quite well now, so I'm very happy about that. Now, as always, there's fresh spawns in the Shelly tank as well. See some teeny tiny guys back there, as well as all sizes of fish throughout this aquarium. The hope is that towards the end of the summer, I'll get in here and pool a bunch in order to have them for sale when I start shipping again. probably late summer. At that point, I would imagine that there will be many more spawns, and it'll be way easier to capture some of these guys in order to pull them to a more bare tank to have to offer to you guys. But for now, I'm just really enjoying having them in this aquarium and seeing them do so well. These little multis are just absolutely adorable and so interactive and fun to watch. They've actually, as you can see as we go across the aquarium, they are utilizing the entire floor of the aquarium now with spawns the whole way across. So it makes me happy that I opted to go for this significantly larger tank than is usually recommended for them. I really think that they're thriving with it. Now my big goal for this week is to really get out to the greenhouse. My husband's been slammed at work and I can't fit the lumber into my car, so I'm hoping he's off this weekend and we can get to the hardware store and I can pick up the rest of the stuff for my central loop that I'm setting up, the lumber for the second side of the racks, and then I can get all of those hardscape materials shuffled and moved so we can come up with a plan for the big concrete bog gardens that I want to do. I only have about 3.5 weeks to get everything done out there, so I'm pretty eager to get started. So make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on so you don't miss any of these new and exciting upcoming videos for a brand new experience with summer tubbing. Now I'm hoping to also get my normal tub set up out there, but we'll have to see what the weather does. We still have snow on the ground. Hopefully that will also be gone in the next day or so. Anyway, I really appreciate your guys' continued support. Make sure you let me know below if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, or which projects in the fish room that you would like to see updates on. As always, make sure you stop by my Instagram, my Facebook, and my website, MsJinx.com, where you can find my upcoming speaking engagements, my current stock list, and information on all things nano.